Well, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. It's Petey, and I was watching this video. Shocking White House report confirms chemtrails. This 2-Bit Da Vinci channel is a channel I've seen before. The guy is an engineer. Really enjoy this guy's content. He makes excellent videos. And in this video, um, it kind of proves the whole thing that chemtrails are real and they have been doing this for some time. And the purpose is to cool the earth. The purpose is to basically wrap the earth in tinfoil, is how you could think of it. Now, I do recommend you watch this video. It's about 20 minutes long, and he mentioned something that I had to go look it up, and I thought, man, that's really interesting, and I did not know this. So I typed it into the Google search, and I found this article, How the World Eliminated Lead from Gasoline. In 2021, Algeria became the last country to ban leaded gasoline. How did the world achieve it? And this article was written January 11th, 2022. So, Thomas Midgley Jr. has been named the one-man environmental disaster for two big reasons. He was one of the early pioneers of chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, compounds that became widely used in industry and which were destroying the ozone layer. So this Thomas Midgley Jr., if you're experimenting with time travel and you're gonna go back on time and kill Hitler, well, Thomas Midgley Jr. He also invented leaded gasoline and insisted it was safe to use. This turned out to be wrong. It exposed large numbers of people to lead poisoning, which is linked to elevated blood pressure and kidney damage, as well as the impairment in brain development and cognitive function in children. The world started adding lead to gasoline in the 20s. The reason was that it's an anti-knock agent, which improved the efficiency of vehicles and the performance of the engine. It turned clunky engines into smooth running engines. But lead proved to be a toxic pollutant, particularly for children. Using it in gasoline was putting the air in towns and cities across the world with large impacts to human health. There had been concerns about the health impacts of leaded gasoline throughout the first half of the 20th century. However, with no real empirical evidence to show, these worries were quickly dismissed. You gotta love it. It wasn't until, hey, how about common sense? Let's take this toxic shit and put it in the air. It won't hurt anything. It wasn't until '69 that the first clinical studies showed that it had toxic impacts on human beings. From there, the evidence of the extent of lead poisoning and its potential link with poor cognitive performance in children continued to grow. So, yeah, I wonder why Petey was never good at math. In response, many countries began, fillerup, ethel. In many countries began to phase out leaded gasoline in the 70s. The U.S. EPA, for example, issued guidelines to reduce lead content in '83, but it wasn't until 1986, 6 decades after its introduction, that Japan became the first country to completely ban it. 3.5 decades later, in 2021, Algeria became the last country to ban it. It took long to react, but the evidence was there, and the first country banned it. Staggeringly, how quickly some progress was made. In 2002, the United Nations Environmental Program launched a program to eliminate leaded gasoline in road vehicles globally. In the map below, we see the status of leaded gasoline in sub-Saharan Africa in 2002. It was still in use in nearly every country. By 2006, it had been banned everywhere in the region, with only a few years it had been completely eliminated. Action can happen quickly, especially when there are large threats to humans' health on the line. The pace of action on leaded gasoline should make it clear that this same page could be replicated in other important areas. So, this is 2002, this is 2006. And the green is where it was banned. The tan is still in use. So I suppose the takeaway here for me would be, well, I know they're putting aluminum, but then there's like barium and other radioactive, like really funky stuff that if they follow around a plane that looks like it's putting out a chemtrail, or they call them contrails, is what they call them. If they follow one of those planes and take air samples, that what they find is barium, which effects on humans of barium. Some people who eat or drink smaller amounts of barium for a short period will experience vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, difficulties breathing, decreased blood pressure, numbness around the face, and muscle weakness. So that sounds to me this sounds to me like barium is toxic to tissue. Your body is trying to tell you, don't be putting this in me. If you expose yourself to barium, your body will let you know. So, is barium harmful to kidneys? Yes. So I don't know. This sounds to me like we've been down this road already with putting toxic stuff into the air with the CFCs, and now we've got a problem. And in order to fix it, we're going to put more toxic stuff into there. So let's just hope that if we're not looking at another image like this in 10 years and finding out that our children have cognitive issues, or that their kidneys are failing when they're on their 10th birthday. You know what I mean? I mean, this stuff it's just terrifying to look at the data and consider this type of thing. And the other thing, like the takeaway, should be that while it seems really intelligent and hip to be the person to sit there and poo-poo conspiracy theories, that there's another saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And people knew. People just used their eyes. You know, I mean, yeah, the amount of air traffic really increased in the 90s, and you know, but there's a difference between a contrail and an obvious chemtrail, and they have been spraying for quite some time. They have. Use your eyes. And when it comes to stuff like the moon landing or JFK, for me, the 60s, the whole thing with the 60s, the Manson thing, all of that. I, I lean towards believing that there was a lot more going on that was manufactured, that was put into place to try to mold society, to try to change our culture, to sway us, you know? And that's not cool. You know, our governments should be protecting us and helping us. They shouldn't be fucking with us and fucking around and coming up with schemes and unleashing drugs on society. You know, when you learn the story of someone like Freeway Ricky Ross, and then you hear about the Contra, the CIA's involvement, and that they were basically, you know, one of the biggest drug dealing. The CIA invented crack cocaine. They were shipping huge amounts of powder in and then distributing that to African American guys and then teaching them how to rock it up, how to make crack. And then we see the effects of crack cocaine in the ghetto, in the African American community, whatever you wish to call it. I don't mean to sit here and make judgment on people. It breaks my heart because that affected my family. A family member became addicted to crack cocaine and is still to this day really messed up over that. Like it ruined the family. It ruined a lot of people's lives and it affected everybody. So imagine if that was everyone in your family. If all of the males fell prey. Imagine that, you know. So the long and the short of it is this stuff does happen. This is one guy. And look at how long it took. Like they're like, oh, we can really quick change can happen quickly. This was 2002 to 2006. Well, yeah, but didn't they find out about it? Didn't they know in 69? 69 to 2006. That's 35 some years, you know, that's not quickly. That's a really, really, really fucking long time. That's half of a lifetime, almost. That's half of a lifetime. I beg to differ, Hannah. That's half of a lifetime. And why did it take that long? Because there were some people making money off of leaded gasoline. That's why. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Have a good one. Sorry, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Try to keep cool. Hug your pets. That's the most important thing. You show a little animal your pet if you have one. And if you don't, consider adopting. Go and adopt a cat. That's what you should do. You're looking to improve your life, adopt a cat. There's plenty of them out there that need homes. And peace.